Kane, Michael Kane, Harry Kane, Sugar Kane, Walking Kane, all type of Kane, everything Kane.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This time we're talking about England once again. If you didn't know already, we're going to be covering the entire World Cup campaign for England and for all the other teams right here on the channel. So make sure you subscribe. Well, I've taken 10 seconds to ask you to subscribe to the channel, but there we go. Click the subscribe button down below if you want to follow me on the biggest football competition on the biggest stage in the world. And I won't actually be going to Russia, but I will be, like I say, covering everything. So let's get into this video where today we have seen Gareth Southgate announce his squad for the 2 games before we go into that real bulk in the summer of fixtures. So we've got the friendlies against Italy and I think against the Netherlands as well, and it's quite an interesting selection that Gareth Southgate's gone with, so let's have a look. Here we are then on the BBC website, and we're going to have a look down this article and highlight some of the key talking points that BBC think and as well as I think are some just interesting points. So here we go. The goalkeepers are Joe Hart, Jack Butland, Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope of Burnley. Now Nick Pope, obviously, probably a few Charlton fans watching this, as you all know, came from Charlton's youth system, so this is a proud moment as a Charlton fan that him and also Joe Gomez, who we'll move on to later, are in this squad here. So Nick Pope didn't actually, I don't think, have much experience with the sort of England youth setup, like the under-17s, 18s and so on, but he is clearly a good goalkeeper. You know, he's played, he got his move to Burnley from us when I think the season we got relegated, I think is when we lost him, and he has just come on leaps and bounds, and what a moment for the young man. I think he's only 24, 25 years old, something like that, to get his first senior England call up. And as Gareth Southgate has said today, it's just mainly to have a look at him. Joe Hart obviously suffering for West Ham, hasn't actually been picked for a while. Adrian getting the nod over him, and then Jack Butland, who I think has got to be the #1. Unfortunate to be in a Stoke side that are really conceding a lot of goals at the moment, and I think it's mainly the defence and not him. Prone to a very, very, very rare mistake, but I think as goalkeeping abilities go, he is our best selection. Jordan Pickford obviously coming up as well, similar age to Nick Pope and Jack Butland. We already know quite a bit about Jack Butland. Jordan Pickford maybe not quite so much, but he has been in the England setup before, and then Nick Pope the least of the few. My #1 would be Jack Butland, but I would want to see Nick Pope get at least a half of a game in the upcoming fixtures to see what he does when, you know, when the stage is big. So there we go. The defenders: Kyle Walker, John Stones, Harry Maguire, Trippier, Rose, Tarkowski, Bertrand, Ashley Young, Joe Gomez and Alfie Mawson. So debuts here for Alfie Mawson and as well for Tarkowski. These are the first call-ups, I think, or at the very least it'll be the first caps if they get on the pitch for these 2 young central defenders. So no Chris Smalling, no Phil Jones. I don't know if, I think Phil Jones is probably more of an injury thing. Chris Smalling, I'm not sure if it is because he's been playing a bit recently. I would have called Smalling up because I like him. He's got England tournament experience, and you know, he's just not been as hot as he was maybe like a year or 2 ago when he did get that. He sort of broke through right to the top level and started for Man United. But there we go. I'm interested to see how Alfie Mawson and Tarkowski will perform on the big stage. Obviously, Michael Keane was Burnley's English centre-back story last year, got his move to Everton, and this year has been quite quiet, really. We haven't spoken a lot about him. Journalists haven't really. He's just been average, really. So not surprised to see Tarkowski get called up ahead of Keane, but yeah, surprised maybe to see Chris Smalling omitted if it's not an injury problem. Not sure. Eric Dyer, Ali, Lingard, Lewis Cook, Jordan Henderson, Adam Lallana, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Wiltshire and Livermore retains his England duties in the midfield. So Livermore, kind of surprised. I see the job he does, but we've already got sort of Henderson and Dyer to fill that role. Whether he sees us playing 5 at the back with Dyer in the back 3, I don't know. But yeah, there we go. Jake Livermore, and Lewis Cook gets his debut or his first call-up. Or again, it might be one of those situations where it's not his first call-up. I'm not sure. Haven't got the stat on me, but it will be his first appearance, I believe, if he does get onto the pitch. No Jack Cork this time, who was in the last selection. But yeah, I like Lewis Cook. I think he's 21 or 22. He's been a very, very good player for Bournemouth for the last 2 seasons. Held his own in the Premier League, and he's, you know, chipped in with a few assists and great performances as well. Don't mind it. I think that's more for the future than for the World Cup. But there we go. Striker-wise, no Harry Kane. He's going to be out for about a month, which is good news in terms of the fact that we'll probably see him at the tournament. but Jamie Vardy, Marcus Rashford, Raheem Sterling considered as a forward, as the dog barks in the background. Thanks, Luna. That will be pizza arriving, so my beckoning call awaits. But just to finish, the forwards, Vardy, Rashford and Welbeck. As I was saying, Sterling considered on this as a forward. We know what he can do for Man City. He can play in a 2, a 3. Very versatile player, really coming on for who are going to be the champions in only probably a few weeks' time. But there we go, no Harry Kane. Vardy probably to start. Rashford obviously with that brace against Liverpool. Not surprised he's there, and he's a real key player for us going forward. I think he's going to be a star of the future. Welbeck only made a couple of appearances, but he's there as well, and his England record speaks for itself. So let me know down below in the comments what you think of this England selection, this squad before the games against Netherlands and Italy. I like it. Some surprise omissions for me. Sturridge obviously out of the picture now. Went to West Brom, which I think was a bit of a silly move. Got injured pretty early on and hasn't featured or scored for them. So not surprised to see him out of it as well. Generally speaking, I do like the blend of players that are probably going to be at the World Cup and the guys that are considered the sort of short-term, you know, answers, the short-term first 11, and then also players like Cook and Tarkowski, maybe, you know, players like that. And also I didn't mention Ashley Young, done well to retain his form to get the England call up, and I do like how he can be utilised as a wing back on either side. Versatility key for his inclusion in the squad, and he's been decent. But yeah, it's a nice blend. I like it. I'm gonna rate this England squad selection 9 out of 10 from Gareth Southgate. Don't know why I'm just rating it, but I just decided to. There we go. I like it. And I like what Gareth Southgate's doing in terms of giving players a chance that maybe previous managers, Sven, Capello, maybe even Hodgson wouldn't have done. So there we go. Make sure, like I said, you leave your opinions down below on this squad. I'll see you in the next video. And by the way, for all Charlton fans wondering, I am going to be reviewing the past few weeks as well as looking ahead towards the final stretch of the season for Charlton. Probably tomorrow, if not the day after that. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and sweet.